It's Wednesday. It's 9 p.m. I'm Richy.
I'm Chris.
I'm Daz.
And I'm Martin. And this is Loaded Football. Run the intro, Daz.
You're the joker, the expert, the voice, but you're one of the crowd. A vision of weakness you don't.
That was good. That was smooth. That's definitely. I think Richie's brought an element of class.
Yeah,
our normal chaotic, muddled startup, which I think is really well. So, I mean, in fairness, it was that smooth. There has to be a PR company out there somewhere looking at Twitter that thinks we are amazing. So, if you are out there and you want to give us a PR deal, listen, we're easily sold. I go for a packet of bourbons. Chris needs somebody to take his kid shopping to buy aftershaves. Richie is just happy to talk to anyone, and Daz just wants someone that can fix his broadband. So hook us
or
up
cut
if
my
you
hair.
can.
One or the other.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, Daz, over to you. Here we go.
Okay. Yeah, so we have one Premier League game on tonight. I think you're probably keeping an eye on it, Chris. I know Richie is as well. So
as always, Daz. As always.
Yeah,
so
never in doubt.
Never in doubt. No. So we're at Selhurst Park tonight for Crystal Palace versus Manchester United, and it's currently 0-0 at half time. And we also have a couple of championship games, but I'll run through the scores with you, but I'm not going to be keeping a close eye on that, I've got to be honest. So Bristol City are at home to Bournemouth, and that's currently 1-1 with 55 minutes gone. And then we've got Sheffield Wednesday at home to Rotherham, and Rotherham are currently winning 1-0. And we've also got Stoke at home to Swansea, and that's currently 1-1. Other Premier League games that happened earlier on this evening, we had Burnley at home to Leicester, and that finished 1-1. And we also had Sheffield United at home to Villa, who got a shock 1-0 win.
Very professional, Chris. No one would know that you were after moving location about 10 seconds ago. Nice one. Of course, also we have our competition today. Last week we asked you for selections for centre back 2. We got numerous replies. We narrowed it down to 4, and we've got 2 of the people that selected 2 of our selections. Are going to join us later on, so look forward to that later on. But let's go to Loaded Headlines. So, you ready for what I've got for you today, lads?
Bring it on.
First topic is, and we're going to keep this in North London for a while. First topic is Spurs. Not a great picture, actually. I thought it'd work. I should have actually tested these out beforehand. Spurs, are they back to their best? Is this man back to his best? Better picture this time. Gareth Bale scoring 2 there at the weekend. And a triple header here in these questions. Should Spurs sell Harry Kane? Thoughts, lads?
Oh, well, I'll go first. Are Spurs back? I don't know. They're too inconsistent from me. I don't think Jose knows his real 11. I think at the back, I think he's kind of chopped and changed. Doherty has come from Wolves and plays in a 3. And when he's being played in a 4 or kind of rotated around, I don't think he fits Jose's back 4. I think he's much better in a 3. Me personally, the guy he brought in from Madrid, Reguilon, I like him, and he's a quality player, but I don't think he's necessarily been playing right.
Roy Keane doesn't like him.
Roy Keane doesn't like him. Yeah, Jamie Redknapp does though. However, big up Roy and Jamie. Quality view on the weekend, lads. Feel free if either of you want to come on chat.
Yeah.
Good. The midfield, I think Dyer's been poor at the back. He's made mistakes. I think midfield-wise, I think they have missed Eriksen, that bit of creativeness. Son burst forward, and him and Harry Kane have this unforeseen telepathy. I mean, I think they've something like 20-odd goals this season between them, and something like 14 assists shared, which is like ridiculous for 2 players. They were talking the weekend about players with that kind of goal ratio and assists, and it was like the last ones they were talking about was like Shearer and Sutton, and Newell and
Yeah.
Cole and Badesley and Sheringham and York and players like these, and you're kind of thinking, God, there's not that pairing out there. But I just think that Jose doesn't know his team. I think Bale played really well the weekend, and I think I think that what I would say with Bale is, like any good player, class is permanent and form is temporary. I think if he gets in the team and he gets a run of games, I think he does well. But I don't think he fits Jose's team every game, because I think Jose tinkers around and he moves the goalpost, for want of a better word, around depending on the team they're playing. So listen, when we spoke at the start of the season, lads, I tipped Spurs for being up there. I remember. Well. Yeah, I know. Yeah, thanks. I thought they'd do it. And hey, listen, still a few games to go. They could go on a run, but they've lost a few. They're losing to teams you wouldn't expect. So yeah, I don't think Jose knows. Is he going to sell Harry Kane? Don't know, but I think Harry Kane is not the player he was. I think he's still scoring goals, but he doesn't have the pace he had. I think his legs are not what they were, which is why you see Son more advanced. But I think maybe for Kane, if he doesn't win nothing, then I think he's got to do something for his career, whether it's a move to Man United or he goes abroad. I don't think if Spurs don't win nothing this season, if I was Kane, I'd be away. That's my view.
Yeah, definitely, Mark. I mean, I agree with a lot of the points you've made there. I mean, for me, Tottenham are one of those sides, aren't they? They're very inconsistent. One week they look unbeatable. Another week they struggle a little bit. And I totally take your point that you said, about Jose not knowing his best team. I think that's been an issue for him probably since he's been there. Obviously, they struggled with injuries when he first joined, which wouldn't have helped him. And I think as well, which some people don't take into consideration, I think the loss of form for Son has made a massive difference. Yeah. Because Son at one point, he was unplayable. People were saying he's the best player in Europe at one point because he just looked electrifying every time he played. So I think Son falling out of form, and obviously Kane, like you say, it isn't what he once was. So it doesn't appear to be. Maybe he's still not fully fit. I don't know, from when he came back from injury. But yeah, I expect a lot more from Tottenham, and I think that you look at the sides. I'm looking at their squad now. You look at their 11, and it's just full of internationals. It's full of top quality players. I mean, I don't necessarily agree with what Roy Keane said the other day. He was quite scathing of Tottenham. Maybe that's down to his previous run-ins with them as a player, but I don't say this very often, so you might want to quote me on this in the future. I do agree with what Jamie Redknapp said. I think they should be up there. I mean, Spurs for me are easily top 4, top 5, top 6 club, easy. And where they are now, it just doesn't, it doesn't correspond with where they should be. And obviously having a top manager like Mourinho. In terms of Gareth Bale, I think like everyone, we've all been underwhelmed since he's come back to Tottenham, and I was expecting him to kind of kick off where he left off. When he left for Real Madrid, I was expecting this dynamic, fantastic player who's had months and months on the sidelines, who's been itching to get back playing, and we've just not seen it, have we? But no. I tell you what, I think it was the first goal he scored at the weekend. It was just good timing. He nipped in there and poked it home from about 5-6 yards out. But his second goal was just typical Bale. I mean, he picked it up from the right-hand side, cut in on his left, and just pinged it off the post. It was just like, it just took me back. Was it like 2012, 2013? When he was pinging goals in from all over the place for Tottenham before he went to Madrid. And I thought, wow, is he back? So let's see if he continues that. And in terms of Harry Kane, some people may be saying, why are you even mentioning about Kane being sold? I mean, out of the four of us, it was myself who asked for this subject to be brought up, because for me, I do think Harry Kane is kind of on a downward trajectory. That's certainly how I feel. I'm not saying he's not a top striker, and I'm not saying he wouldn't walk into most Premier League teams and teams in Europe. But I just think if I was Daniel Levy, I mean, I can't think off the top of my head how old he is, but I'm assuming he's 27, 28. I would certainly, if people were banding around, with a 150 million price tag, especially in these COVID times, I would be very tempted to sell myself, because I think he's only going to get worse, in my opinion. But that's just my opinion.
Just looking at Tom's question there, I know, Martin, you mentioned Man United or abroad. Where do you see him ending up if he does move on?
I think abroad.
Abroad.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. maybe Madrid or I don't know. But you know, a lot of like we've seen it before. A lot of top, you know, UK centre forwards that have gone abroad have struggled. You know, it doesn't necessarily seem to be, you know, a move that suits well. You know, I think it used to be something that was done more time back. I suppose you look at like Lineker going and Mark Hughes to Barcelona, and you know, players went to Milan and different places. But that, like, if you like, I can't really think of that many. Okay, Sancho, you know, going to Dortmund and stuff. But like, you think of some of the other big clubs. You know, there's not too many English centre forwards who've gone to a Madrid or a Barca or a Milan, Inter Milan, or a Juventus.
No, not at the peak of their careers. No, not recently. No. It's
exactly.
it's more the younger players going to Germany and breaking through that way, and then trying to get.
I think you probably look at someone like Michael Owen's been the last big striker that went abroad at his prime, because he wasn't. He was at Liverpool. He just didn't come back in his prime, did he? That was the problem.
No, should have said there. Sorry, Richy,
MLS could be a destination eventually.
Yeah.
Somewhere like into Miami with Beckham.
Beckham's brand's taken off, isn't it? There's rumours that that's where Messi could end up, possibly even Aguero.
Richy, what do you think of Spurs?
To be fair, I think they're probably one of 16 inconsistent teams in the Premier League this year. There's been one consistently good team, which would be Man City, and there's been 3 consistently bad teams, which is probably us, Sheffield United, and West Brom. Everybody else has been really inconsistent this season. You know, anyone's been able to beat anyone. You know, Sheffield United beating Villa tonight for a start. That's it. I wouldn't have picked that at all. I think when Bale came across to Spurs, the talk was that front 3 was probably going to be the best front 3 in the Premier League, but it hasn't been like that. It's taken nearly 2 months for it to develop, and I think those 2 UEFA Cup games against Wolfsburg have really helped Bale. But I think, you know, you go back to the Champions League game where he pretty much won it single-handedly with those fantastic goals that he scored, that overhead kick as well. It was just phenomenal. That lad's got class. And it's like you said before, form's temporary, but class is permanent. The problem with Spurs being inconsistent is, in my opinion, I think they didn't replace Jan Vertonghen. The partnership that Vertonghen and Alderweireld had was brilliant, and I don't understand why they didn't renew the contract for him. Because Davinson Sanchez, I don't rate them. Eric Dyer only drops back into the back 4. Don't rate him at all. I would always have him as a holding midfielder, but he's been terrible this year anyway. And Aurier at right back is just, sometimes he can be outstanding, but the majority of the time he's a liability. So, you know, defensively, that's where their issues are, and they never replaced Vertonghen, in my opinion, on there. Regards Harry Kane, there was talk on TalkSport today about Man City looking to replace, obviously Aguero looks as though it could be going, and you know, Jesus is he like an out-and-out number 9 sort of thing? But everyone's talking that if they replace him, they'll go Haaland. And to be fair, I'd probably go Haaland as well, because I think he's probably the best number 9 at the minute. Harry Kane, I think the only English destination I think he could go to would be Man United. I think, you know, there's been talk of Real Madrid and stuff like that. But this is a little prediction for you, and you've heard it here now. I do not think Harry Kane will beat Alan Shearer's record.
No.
He won't. His legs are gone.
I agree.
I've said it for a few years. I didn't think he would get it.
There'll be a lot of people.
I'll stand by that.
There'll be a lot of people happy to hear that. But I'm just going to pick up on a few of your points, lads. Yeah, just on Kane. Yeah, he's 27 now. If someone is going to buy him this season, this summer is the time to buy him, really. On Roy Keane and Jamie Redknapp, the offer is open to Roy Keane to come on Paddy's Day. What a day to join us. He see the professional should we have here at Loaded Football. He may not want to leave. He may not go back to Sky Sports. So there you go, right? And what else was I going to say? Bale, yeah, I was going to jump up, put him in my fantasy football team straight away when he came in, but no. Glad I didn't. He hasn't done much. We'll move on, lads. We'll move on to Arsenal. And Arsenal, yes, they had a good win at Leicester there at the weekend, but a poor season overall. A little pick of them after a few of their goals yesterday. Can they kick on from here? really. Is my next question, and my last question is: would you sell this man, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang? He is 31. Would you sell him? He got a new contract there in the summer, and he hasn't been the same man since. That's the next question, lads. I kind of threw that in there on you.
Yeah,
Surprise.
okay. Very, very quick answers then. Would I sell Aubameyang? Yes. I think Arsenal need a more consistent goal scorer if they're going to challenge and get back up. I think Arteta will do a good job. I think he just needs time, and I think Arsenal need a rebuild. I don't think Willian is doing anything for them. I think your man Saka, I think it is. I like quality young player. I like the lad. I like the young lad. Not Maitland-Niles. What's the other lad in the middle? The blonde lad who terrorised Newcastle.
Smith Rowe.
Smith Rowe. Yeah, love him. So I think Arsenal will come good. I think they've got potentials of a squad, but I think it needs a rebuild. And I think, to be fair, that was probably always going to be needed after kind of Wenger, and I think it's a hard act to follow as well. And then obviously, you had Unai Emery in the middle of that as well. So yeah, I think Arsenal will come good, but not just yet. I think it'll be a while.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, Martha. I think it's the one good thing they've done this season, I think, is stick by Arteta. I think it was important to stick by him. I mean, that I've already let my feelings known about Lampard. I think Chelsea, Chelsea struck him off too quick. I think they should have stuck by him a little bit, especially given the challenges he had. But yeah, in terms of Arteta, he needs a bit of time. Aubameyang, that is a curveball, that does, because he's 31 years old, isn't he? He's not getting any younger, and it does seem like since he's got this new contract, it's just kind of like it feels anyway. Certainly from an outsider point of view, and if there's any Arsenal fans listening, by all means come and correct us. But it certainly feels, like he's down tools a little bit, like he's got his big payday, and he's like, great, I'll just coast through the rest of the season. Hopefully, he comes back and we start to see the player that he once was. And obviously he's the captain of the club as well, isn't he? So you'd think he'd be itching to get back on the pitch, lead by direction. But I don't know. I don't know what's happened to him. I don't know what's happened to him. But a top draw, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang is it's great to watch, even for the neutral. Yeah, it's superb.
We found out he comes
back. Yeah, we did. Yeah, I thought actually after that game, I thought, here we go, he'll kick on now. Yeah. And he's not even getting a look in, is he, at the minute? And obviously Arteta watches him train every day, so we'll have to see.
To be fair, you go back to the Newcastle game against Arsenal, and I think anybody could have been a look class against Kraft, to be honest, though, lads. But I always think that Aubameyang looked better through the middle, but he plays on the left quite a bit as well. But I probably would sell him because I think they've got so much young potential coming through. Like Martin said, Saka, I think, is a phenomenal young player, and I would love to see him play on the left in front of Tierney. I just think that's their partnership going forward for years. Smith Rowe is the number 10. Possibly on the right, that they keep going between Willian and Pepe, and Pepe he's failed to deliver to what they expected when he came in from the League 1. And you've still got Lacazette and Nketiah as your striker, really. But so there's a lot there still to cover for, and I think it's because of the season that everybody's having, it would be ideal. And bear in mind, you've also got to look at like Willock as well, and you've got Maitland-Niles as well. They've got a lot of good English talent, which is good for them and for the country. I would stick with a rebuilding and just build around that, and then once they've built on that and get the consistency and the experience of playing the Premier League, and while they're going through this little transition, I think it'll be nothing but beneficial, especially with keeping Arteta as well.
Yeah, I think they're a good central defender and probably 3 or 4 players away, including a real top quality 20-25 goal a season man from being a quality side again. I mean, they're a good side, don't get me wrong, but they're not. The
one thing I think they did wrong in the summer was I think they got rid of the wrong keeper. I really liked that Martinez who went to Villa.
Oh yeah, I totally agree. Rich. Totally agree.
He's proved it. Villa got the second most clean sheets this season. I think they had. I think I saw a stat behind Man City. I'm sure they've got the second most clean sheets, which just goes to show how how good they are.
Yeah.
And how good
And
he
we've all
was
seen
for the
what we've all seen what a good goalkeeper can, the difference a good goalkeeper can make. I mean, look at Sheffield United. They let Dean Henderson go back from, they got him on loan from Man United, and they brought that Ramsdale in for what, 18 million, and well, you can see the league table yourselves, can't you?
Yeah. Even though they won tonight, they got their
They won
victory
tonight, yeah.
And Henderson is playing for Man United tonight as well.
Yeah.
Actually, I think. Sorry, I didn't listen to anything you said, Richie, because I saw this comment come up on screen, and it's directed towards you, Martin, and I just have been laughing ever since. It's when you dropped something there, and we're making all that noise.
Yeah. Whatever. Funny. And all I'll say is at least he's watching this week. I don't know where he was last week. He needs to talk about pilots missing in action. Where was John Justice Allen last week? That's my question. Let's put that to the Twitter poll. Where was John Justice Allen last week?
We weren't on his radar.
Yeah, we weren't on his radar. Yeah, exactly.
We'll move on, lads. Well, I never said that. Well, yeah, on Aubameyang, I'd sell him. 31. He's probably got massive money now at Arsenal. I'd sell him now, cash in on him while you can. And again, I seem to judge everything from my fantasy football team. I had him in my fantasy football team at the start of the season. Other people probably did as well, because he was down as a midfielder. And I was like, yes, loads of points, but that backfired on me. Okay, I think it's time to move on to... Are you ready, Chris?
As always. Loaded leaderboard.
Beautiful.
I thought I was a bit off this week.
No.
Yeah, hard to judge from every other week, really.
Yeah, well, yeah, maybe. Okay, so we've got the loaded leaderboards again. One of my favourite segments, actually, I've got to say, boys. But the disappointment for me this week is I'm going to ask Daz to throw up the results so far, and I know what's coming, and that's what's so disappointing about it. I like to not know. Can we just like take him off camera or something? Can we just while it comes up? Just get rid of him, and then we'll put it on.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, and now we can throw it up.
I don't have tonight's results in, so
okay, no problem.
Here it is. I feel we should let him back in.
Let him back in. He can see it.
Back in your spot, though. There you go. Are you happy now?
Class is permanent, form is temporary, lads. I did say on this show last week that Arsenal would go and beat Leicester, and you all backed Leicester and laughed at me and went, "Are you sure?" And I went, "Yep."
It's a good point.
And I wasn't too far out with most of the other results. The only one I got wrong was Sheffield United and Liverpool.
Lads, I'm going to say that we're going to have to start moving faster, because we've got Alex from the Pacemakers in the green room, or in his own house, but in our green room. So welcome, Alex. We'll get you in about 10 minutes. So let's go to... I'll remove the banner again.
Let's rattle through these.
So...
Okay, boys. So
go for it.
I will start with... I'll start as always, and then we'll go Daz, Richy, Martin. Yeah. Okay, so we have got Fulham at home to Spurs. Boys, it's got to be a Spurs win. It's got to be.
Spurs win for me as well, Chris.
Spurs.
Oh, see, I'd love to go the other way, but I'll go Spurs because I know what it means.
Gareth Bale
hat trick. Chris.
Okay, so we've got West Brom at home to Everton. So I'm going to say draw.
I'm going to say Everton.
Everton.
Yeah, Everton for me.
Okay, boys. We've then got Liverpool at home to Chelsea. It's a tough one. I'm going to say Liverpool home win.
I'm going to say draw.
Draw.
Chelsea win.
Love it.
Not as much as he loves playing his broadband.
2 weeks in a row during his segment.
Yeah.
So he only gets one opportunity to talk, and he goes off. Between that and the quiz, everything else works perfect. When he gets chance, it goes. Brilliant.
Okay,
I love it.
I carry on.
As you carry on.
Okay, so Burnley, Arsenal. I'm saying Arsenal.
Arsenal,
yeah.
Then we have Sheffield United, Southampton. I'm saying a draw.
I'm saying a draw as well because Southampton are pitiful at the minute.
I'm going to go Sheffield United.
Next up is Villa Wolves. I'm saying Villa.
Draw.
Yeah, I'm going to go for draw, Richie. I think you're right.
Next up is Brighton Leicester. I'm saying Leicester.
Leicester.
I've been backing against Leicester all season. Do I dare do it again?
You've got to back them. You want them to win.
Yeah, go on, Leicester. If Brighton win that now, he's gone.
He's gone is right. Next up is West Brom Newcastle. I'm saying Newcastle.
Newcastle. Somehow.
Newcastle, yeah.
Do we add him back in?
No, leave him.
Let this segment go first.
Let this segment go, and then Adam. Right, go on, keep going.
Sorry, have we all spent minute selection there? Right.
Yeah, we did West Brom Newcastle. Liverpool, Fulham.
Yeah, Liverpool, Fulham. I'm saying Liverpool.
Liverpool.
Yeah, Liverpool.
Man City, Man United. I'm saying draw.
City.
Spurs, Palace. I'm saying Spurs.
Spurs.
I'm going to go Palace.
Chelsea, Everton. I'm saying draw.
Chelsea.
West Ham, Leeds.
West Ham, Leeds. I'm saying Leeds.
West Ham
for me too.
Man City, Southampton. I'm saying Man City.
City.
I'm going to go Southampton purely on the fact that somewhere in those results there's a stupid one coming. Well done, Chris.
Why does it always happen on this segment? It does it all the time. Oh.
Anyway,
I'm just going to check the comments, lads. Oh, Martin, you've got some comments on your jersey.
Yes.
It is, yes.
That's a Man City jersey, Keith.
Dublin. It is, Keith, yes. Good shout out. It is a Dublin jersey, yes.
And we've got Julie as well. And the naughty step.
You can join Chris.
Yeah, and a question for you, Chris, from Julie.
Julie, honestly, Julie, right? I don't even know why it keeps cutting out, because it throws me out and then it'll reload it back on and it's fine. I just don't know what's going on.
No, I think we're going to get you, Daz. I think we need a new segment for Chris. It's called the End Titles.
Okay, because I see David has actually joined us as well. Welcome, David. I can see you. We're running behind schedule today. We'll get you on as well later.
We're not too far off, Daz. We're not too far off.
Are we? Okay, maybe the lads are early. So fair enough, Martin.
I'm going to
hand over to you for our word from our sponsor.
Yeah, obviously, Mind, Body, and Soul. So we are obviously the first official week of March. They did send me a very lovely Mind, Body, and Soul T-shirt, which I had on one of the shows there the other day, which they seen. Didn't put it on tonight because I had to wash it. But yeah, loads of stuff. We've been obviously following them. You can follow them on Twitter at Mind, Body, Soul UK, and obviously find them on the internet as well, www.mindbodysoul.uk. The guys are out there. If you are vulnerable, if you just want to chat, if you are having mental health issues, or like Chris, you're just having problems with your broadband and you'd like to talk to someone about how much that is harming you, give the guys a shout. They will help you. Everything is confidential. They do a really good job. And to help support kind of what they do with the proceeds that they make that go off to charities, they do an extensive line of clothing on their website. So again, www.mindbodysoul.uk. Have a look at it. Go on there. They do T-shirts, they do hoodies, they do masks. They've just launched a range of hats and different bits and pieces. I know, talking to the guys, there's loads more coming as well. So again, big shout out to them for the continued sponsorship. And we will have a couple of bits coming up during March and during April, where they have given us a couple of giveaway packs. So we will be running a couple of competitions, which we'll bring up details of as we move forward. But yeah, we will be giving the viewers out there a chance to win some Mind, Body, and Soul goodies, which is really good. So thanks very much.
Mind, Body, and Soul. Shout out to MBS. Woo!
Thanks, boys.
Okay, let's move section. And Martin, are you ready?
Born ready, Daz.
All right. Hope you like my new picture here.
I love that. Loaded tune.
Here we go. Let's bring on Alex. He's been waiting patiently there in the wings. You ready, Alex? Here we go. Welcome, Alex, mate.
There he is.
Hello, everyone.
How's it
Evening,
going?
mate. How are you?
Even Alex.
Yeah, it's going good.
I recognise that room now from looking at some of the videos.
So do I, actually.
So obviously, welcome to Alex. We would have had Will on as well, but Will is working. So Alex is representing the Pacemakers. Some great tunes. Obviously, I think from our perspective, when we first started kind of putting the channel and the game out there, the show out there, you guys were one of the first to kind of come back and say, we'd love to get on and showcase a tune. And we've kind of been going for a few weeks, and finally we have you on. So welcome.
Yeah, it's nice to be on. It's good to see that you're doing a bit of a sort of grassroots, off the cuff podcast sort of thing. You know?
We're trying. It's definitely off the cuff, mate. I would say that for sure.
Something to do, isn't it, these days?
Yeah, well, do you know what? We obviously, from our perspective, we were sitting or are sitting on the back of a Newcastle United fans channel, and we started doing a kind of a live match day, and we kind of got into that, and then it just kind of steamrolled, and then myself and Daz and Chris and then Richy kind of said, well, you know, there's not really anything out there that kind of is like an old soccer EM type of vibe. So why don't we just do like a few bits and pieces and do something that we enjoy? So that's how it steamrolled, and then we kind of incorporated the music, and that just took off big time and has become probably, you know, a good half of the show now. But look, it's great to have you on. Pleased that we could get you here. Obviously, I've been listening to the tunes and I send them along to the lads. So I suppose just to give those who are watching, regular viewers, like Tom and John Justice Allen and Julie and everybody that kind of follows us every week. How did you guys get started with the band? How did you meet up, and kind of where are you guys at right now with things?
Yeah, okay. So really, me and Will have known each other for a long time, since school. And we sort of bonded over a love of football and music. And we started, I think we got an acoustic guitar, I was maybe about 16 or 17, you know, as you are when you first started, terrible. Absolutely awful. But, you know, you love bands like Oasis and all those sort of people that inspire you. So you try and write some songs, which we did. We did that for a few years. We never really did anything with the band to such. But then about, I think it was the summer of 2019, we decided, let's make a real go of it. So we started practicing, and we got a lot better. We met our drummer at a mutual friend's barbecue. And then it was really intense. We wrote quite a lot of new material, as well as some old stuff that we had. In about 3 months, we released a debut single, Valentine's Day, so about a year ago now. And then we did our debut gig just before the whole COVID thing. So as soon as we got right up, ready and running, it was sort of...
The doors were closed as such.
Yeah.
So how is that? Obviously, you know, you guys can't get out and gig and stuff. So how are you guys, you know, handling that whole piece with getting? I mean, obviously, I know, you know, shows like this and so on. I know you guys are really heavy on Twitter and stuff, and get the stuff out through social media. So how are you guys keeping the music flowing and stuff, you know, during lockdown? How's that all going?
Yeah, it's been tough, to be honest. We've not been able to meet up all together. Me and Will have been able to meet up. So what we've mainly been doing is writing new material, getting our sort of set list ready in our head when we come out, and what we're going to do in terms of gigs and recording. We've got like a lot of material, mastered a lot of amount of songs now, and we want to, you know, put them out there in the right way. So it's really exciting because we're basically just ready to go. And because we didn't have enough time to sort of get up and running before, we've got like loads of things together, loads of ideas. We're just waiting.
Yeah, I think we're all the same. Obviously, me and Daz are both in Ireland. The rest of the lads, Chris is in Liverpool, and Richy is up in Newcastle. So, you know, we came together through the show, but you know, we're all the same. Like, you know, I haven't even been able to catch up with Daz across the other side of Ireland yet because of COVID. So everything is the same, you know, and it is hard. From a band perspective, Alex, are you guys signed to anybody, unsigned, or?
Oh no, definitely unsigned. But we are available to sign.
Yeah, very good. Well, we will obviously keep promoting you and stuff. So I think we've got some questions more about the music. We've got definitely some questions about football, which I know you are a lover, and you're a Derby fan, I believe.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah.
For your sins. So we have got some questions, obviously, about the likes of Rooney, what's happening with the takeover piece and all this other, because obviously being Newcastle fans, we know all about takeovers. So yeah, I think you're definitely with the right people to talk about that kind of thing tonight. So I think what we'll do first, Daz, I think what we'll do is we'll play a tune and get that tune. I can hear a little bit of feedback. I'm not sure if it's me or if it's somebody else. It could be me. I can hear me mic possibly. But what we'll do is we'll play the tune now, which I think we're going to play, Daz. I think we're going to play Thick as Thieves.
That's right, Martin. Yep.
So we'll give that a whack. We'll let the listeners out there have a listen. We'll give that a full play, and then we'll come back and I'll open up the questions to the rest of the lads, and we'll talk a bit of football. So cool. This is the Pacemakers band with Thick as Thieves. Hit it, Daz.
We were quick as lightning when we had to leave that night, and it was frightening how you didn't want to fight. But that was the thing about us, 'cause we'd always had way more than trust. Without colors, we'd be labeled thick as thieves. It have kept us to the autumn chocolate leaves. 'Cause you always knew when the time was up, we had just run out of luck. It's to the man who drinks the most. It's to the man who likes the most. It's to the girls who fancy cars. It's to the rest of your life behind bars. Quick as lightning when we had to leave that night, and it was frightening how you didn't want to fight. But that was the thing about us, 'cause we always had way more than trust.
Nice one.
Belts a song, that, mate.
Cheers, lads.
Quality.
Thank you very much.
And now Martin's muted. Great.
I am muted. Yes, I did a spenny. Oh god, that's because I was worried about the feedback, which I can still hear. Yeah, we did get some feedback, so I might mute there. So I'll open it up to Chris, Richy, and Daz, and we'll talk a bit of football. But I think we've got some comments there, Daz. So let's see what we got from the viewers and get a couple of questions up there, because there was some good feedback and a few questions.
Yeah, I'm going to go with a question first, Martin, and then I'll have a look at the comments for the lads are thinking of a question. So I want to ask Alex, has this man drove you cuckoo? How about the man next to him? Is he the one to lead you, to keep you in the championship and to take you further afield next season?
Yeah, I think Rooney's the man, to be honest. Obviously, he's got little to no experience in terms of managerial, but I think as a player, he was a good player. He liked to lead on the pitch. I mean, why not? I mean, we've been through that, so many managers. I mean, we had Frank Lampard, and he had no experience, and we was in the top 6. Yeah, strong influence. Yeah. So I think he's doing a good job. I think since he's come in, he's done a really good job. Because before, I think under Cocky, he was never really settled into a style of play. And we brought in the likes of Colin Kazim Richards, who's I've never heard of him before, and he's just turned the team around, grabbed him by the scruff of the neck. And I think people are probably inspired by him. He seems to be G'ing the lads up. I mean, we lost 4-0 last night, but yeah, that's how it goes.
Exactly. I have a question or two from the chat as well. I was just going to the comments first. So, one from Julie. How would you describe your musical style, Alex?
I think we have a lot of influence from bands like Jam, Libertines, those sort of bands. A lot of 60s bands. And the thing about a lot of 60s music is the melodies were really, really good and catchy. I think we try and write melodies first and foremost, because a lot of bands tend to focus on like the content of lyrics, but that isn't what makes a good song in our bands. We like to write a song with a strong melody, and then go from there. Who we influenced by? Libertines.
Yeah, I was going to say the Beatles. I'm sure I've seen in one of your shed sessions. There's a big Beatles poster, I think, up there somewhere.
Yeah, big Beatles. Wow, yeah. Obviously.
Looks like Mick Jagger behind you as well, is it, from Stones?
Yeah, we've got Mick here. Got the Who here. Yeah, we like bands like the Pixies, the Smiths, all sorts of just guitar music in general. You know, if it's a good song, it's a good song.
Yeah, I think off the single, Thick as Steel, I thought had a very Arctic Monkeys feel to it as well. I don't know whether you thought any of the little lads thought that, but I thought that's usually a good start when you cut the songs, because it can be compared to the Arctic Monkeys.
Well, yeah, I'll take that.
I
was watching Arctic Monkeys earlier, actually. Live set. I mean, like we grew up with Arctic Monkeys. It was a lot of our generation of music, and it's amazing how many bands it inspired. So yeah, definitely Arctic Monkeys were inspired by bands like that, and all those sort of early noughties bands, indie bands.
Yeah.
Another question there from the comments from John Justice Allen. Alex, have you wrote a song about lockdown and COVID? Seems like a theme for a song.
Yeah, it's difficult that, because I think the best thing to do is, if you're writing about something like that, you've got to write about it, but not specifically talk about the situation. I think what we've done more so when writing is you're reflecting on. I think we've all had time to reflect on certain things about the world sort of around us. So I think, drawing inspiration from that as opposed to necessarily the lockdown. It's more what looking and reflecting. Yeah, it's been a good time to write songs. I feel like we've got to the point now where we're like, yeah, we need to get going. Like, we're itching to just rehearse. We've not rehearsed as a full band since about October. So it's a long time.
Yeah, Alex, I want to take it off topic, mate, and I apologise, but I'm dying to know. what your feelings are on this BZG takeover, because obviously you're probably aware, BZG were linked with us, and I think it broke in the news saying the deal's done. It's all signed, sealed, delivered, and we were all ecstatic. I remember I was painting my daughter's bedroom at the time, and I literally had to stop. I had to go in the garden, and I was like, "Oh my god, I can't believe it!" I cracked open a beer, and I was absolutely delighted. And then obviously the coming days, weeks revealed that it wasn't the case. And I hear, and I could be wrong, but I hear that that's a bit of the case with Derby, where they've announced that this takeover is happening, and now it seems to have hit the ice a little bit.
Yeah, they announced it, and like you say, I mean, you started looking into it. Are they like one of the richest oil? Yeah, they're like got a lot of money anyway. I don't know if it's not the sort of like Man City type figures, but we're like, oh, okay, we're going to get some players in, going to get some investment, and it seems to be on track now. It's almost gone really quiet. No one really knows what's sort of happened. Because we're like, oh, we're getting we have Rooney taking over, and we're like, we're going to have a financial takeover. We're going to get loads of players, but it didn't happen. So I think Rooney's gone and dragged players on loan from Premier League teams and that sort of thing. So yeah, it's gone really quiet.
I mean, that's a big advantage, isn't it, of having someone like Wayne Rooney? I mean, obviously, like you've said, he's very inexperienced, but just imagine the contacts he's got in the Premier League. He could basically pick up the phone to anyone, couldn't he?
Yeah, I think that's a massive advantage. Frank Lampard was the same. Those players, like Mason Mount and Wilson, they were great players. And I felt like, we never replaced him, and that's probably why we're 18th. I mean, Mason Mount's playing for Chelsea now, which goes to show how good he was. I think that's the case, though, with a lot of these young players. Sort of now. I don't know if anyone else feels like this, but I feel like it'd be better to spend, 19, 20, 21, early 20s, even if you're playing for a championship club, playing day in, week in, week out, score 20 goals, and then move on. I feel like everyone wants to jump the gun now. I felt a bit like that with Frank Lampard, actually, when he left for Chelsea. I felt, well, you've only been a manager for a year. He could have stayed for at least another year to try and get us promoted. And now, obviously, he's joined Chelsea, and then he was booted from Chelsea. I mean, I'm not surprised because they do it to all the managers, but
yeah,
it just goes to show it doesn't matter who you are. If you don't get results, these owners will just give you the boot anyway.
That's the thing, isn't it? It's a results business, and it is very cutthroat at times. And I mean, we were talking about it earlier. I don't know if you heard us, Alex, but we were talking a little bit about Frank Lampard and Chelsea, and we were saying, well, I was saying anyway, I felt a bit sorry for Lampard because I felt like they got rid of him too quick. But then I suppose as a Derby fan, I'd probably feel differently, and I think, well, good riddance. You should have stuck around a little bit longer with us.
Yeah. Not to have a dig at Frank, because I thought he was a pretty good manager, and I think he probably will be whatever side he goes to next.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
like Chelsea would have come at some point. I think he probably was like, oh, I don't know if they'll come again, so I've got to go.
That's it. Yeah.
So yeah, I don't blame him. I mean, I probably would have done the same thing.
I think Gerrard's going to be in the same position with Liverpool, isn't he? If and when Klopp leaves, I think they will approach Gerrard, and it's whether or not he feels ready.
That's it. I mean, he's more than proven himself up there. He's like, what are they, like 20 points clear or something?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Yeah.
I'm going to answer one of the questions here from Donald. The single is on Spotify because I've seen it there. Isn't that right, Alex?
Yeah, we're on Spotify, on every social media, go in, and I'm sure you'll find us.
Perfect. Okay, do you think we go for? Oh, Martin, you're on mute.
Well, again, what is going on tonight? I don't know because I keep hearing feedback. I don't know if it's just me, but I don't know what's going on. But anyway, I think are we going to rattle on to loaded quiz? I know Alex is dying to to test. We didn't throw in any curveballs despite his protestations on Twitter. So and he is down to obviously Will has dropped him well and truly in the shit tonight and left him man down. So I think we'll take it easy. But let's rock and roll with the loaded quiz and let's see how we get on.
I have one question for Chris. Do we have a backup in case your broadband goes?
Yes, I have forwarded the quiz to yourself and Martin via email. But hopefully there won't be an issue.
Cool, perfect. So let's. Are you ready, Chris?
I'm ready. Loaded quiz.
Here we go. Right,
Here we go,
and
boys.
let's have a look at the leaderboard actually, just see what you're up against, Alex.
Wow. So we've got 2 people joint on 12. We've got Moonlight Parade and we've got the Johnny Ash Band who were on last week. And then we've got Sam Lambert who's currently in 3rd on 11 points. And then we have Jace Campbell who's 4th with 10 points. And then poor Phil and East Fife currently 5th with 9 points. And then we have Alex with the Pacemakers. Let's see where Alex can finish.
Poor old Phil there. East Fife 5th, not 4th. I've been dying to say that for weeks, lads.
It's done now, Mark. It's done.
I know. Yeah, I'm just going to leave. All right, here we go.
Okay, Alex. So a little bit of housekeeping, mate. We've got 14 questions, and therefore there's 15 points up for grabs. There's not going to be a timer, so you've got a bit of time between your questions to think of your answer. Now, one of the questions, by the way, I'm dead excited to ask you this question. I've got one question here, and it's like my favorite football quiz question ever. So I'm interested to see if you get it, and I've got a sneaky feeling you will, based on something you said earlier. But let's see. And also this week, as a one-off, Alex, I'm going to let Martin and Daz help you on one of the questions if you get stuck, because there's a bit of an Irish feeling there. So let's see. Okay, so let's kickstart anyway. So question number 1, Alex. Goal shooter, goal attack, and wing attack are playing positions in which sport? I'll repeat it for you, mate. So it's goal shooter, goal attack, wing attack at playing positions in which sport?
God. I'm going to go for... I'm going to go for rugby union. Total gas that.
Okay, mate. Question number 2. In what year were Derby County founded?
1884.
Just repeat that again for me, sorry.
1884.
Okay, mate, lovely jubbly. Now, this is the one that Martin and Daz, feel free to jump in and help Alex with this one if you want, okay? So, which Irish rock band sang "The Boys Are Back in Town"?
Thin Lizzy.
Thin Lizzy.
Doesn't even need you, boys. Doesn't even need you. Love that. Okay. Question number 4. The dunny is an Australian term for what? The dunny is an Australian term for what?
Oh,
If you watch I'm a Celebrity, you probably have a good idea.
I don't. I'm gonna have
Dunny.
I think I'll have to pass on that.
Okay, mate. Okay. Now this one's for 2 points, Alex, and this is what I'd say. This is my favourite question, so I can't wait to ask it. Okay, so which player currently at Derby was once known as the Coca-Cola Kid after the football fan won a competition with Coca-Cola to sign a £250,000 football player for their club? So I'll repeat the question, mate. Which player currently playing at Derby County was once known as the Coca-Cola Kid after the football fan won a competition with Coca-Cola to sign a £250,000 football player for their club? And I'll give you the clue. You said his name before, so that's why I was laughing.
Colin Kazim Richards.
Okay. Now the second one, this is a bit harder. This is the second point for this question, mate. Okay. Which current Premier League club did he sign for at that time? So the lad won the prize, and he could pick a club for him to go to, and it's a current Premier League club. And I'll give you the clue: it's a lower down Premier League club. And again, boys, if you want to help him on this one, 'cause it's a bit more difficult, feel free.
Oh, I think I might know this. Do they play? Do they play in red and white?
Red and white.
Yeah.
No.
What was the question? Go again, Chris. Question.
Okay, so you know, Colin. I might as well tell you now because you got it right. Colin Kazan Richards was the Coca-Cola kid, and the reason he was the Coca-Cola kid was because a lad won a competition with Coca-Cola, and they said, "Right, you've won a £250,000 player, and you can send him to the club of your choice." And the lad supported this particular club, and they currently play in the Premier League. And I want to know what club it is. And it's a lower Premier League club; it's not one of the big ones.
Brighton.
You going to go with that, Alex?
Yeah, go on then. We'll go with Brighton.
Okay, boys. Right. Next one. Can you name me the second largest town in Derbyshire after Derby?
Oh, second largest town.
The second largest town in Derbyshire after Derby.
I'm gonna say Burton.
Okay, mate. And the next one. Before hanging up his boots, what shirt number did Wayne Rooney wear at Derby?
Oh, it's I know this. 32.
There you go. I was going to say, I'm going to give you a little clue. It's the same number as your sponsor. Okay.
I was trying to think of the sponsor.
What was the boxer Muhammad Ali's birth name?
Cassius Clay.
Okay, mate. Derby have a tough away match at the weekend, and you could call it a 6-pointer. Who was it against?
Oh, you put me on the spot now.
So it's an away match, and it's this weekend.
Oh, I should know this. Who is it? Oh, I'm just gonna have to guess.
It's one of the lower teams in the league.
It's not. It's not.
They play in a colour very similar to what Martin's wearing. In fact, it is the same colour as what Martin's wearing.
It's a very fetching colour.
I don't know. I've got
One more clue, Chris. They currently play the home games, not at their own stadium.
Oh, nice clue.
Pass if you don't know it. We'll move on.
Yeah, I think it's not. Is it Sheffield Wednesday?
Okay, mate. Next question. What headphones company, co-founded by the rapper Dr. Dre, was purchased by retail giant Apple?
Beats.
Okay, mate. What planet is closest to the Earth?
This is a trick question.
As if we would do that.
I'm going to go for Mars.
Okay, mate. The next one is, how many strings does a violin have?
4.
Okay. And the next one is, what is the chemical symbol for hydrogen? Had 2 chemical questions in the last 2 weeks, boys. Do you like that? Okay.
Yeah.
Everyone's always learning. Okay.
Educational show.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it's all about. And the final question: as things stand, who is currently bottom of the championship table?
Wickham, I believe.
Okay, mate, nice easy one for you there. Right, fantastic. Well done there. Okay, so Alex, you have scored 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right, so you've scored 10. But the big thing is, Alex, you've got your bonus question, and it's worth 2 points. If you get this bonus question right, you are going to finish joint top, okay? And what I'm pleased to tell you is, because you were on your own tonight, we wanted to make it quite simple. So it is very simple maths, but I've got to take your first answer, okay? So the question is, what's the total number of dots on a pair of dice? I've got to take your first answer. So it's the total number of dots on a pair of dice. But there's no trick question.
40.
Okay, mate. Okay, right. I'm afraid you got that wrong. But I appreciate the way you went full in there. I love that. Right, okay, so I'm going to quickly tell you the ones you got wrong overall, okay? So the goal shooter, goal attack, and wing attack are playing positions in netball. The dunny is an Australian term for a toilet. The second largest town in Derbyshire after Derby is Chesterfield. Derby have a tough away match at the weekend, and it is against Coventry. The nearest planet to the Earth is Venus. And unfortunately, the very last question there, mate, the total number of dots on a pair of dice is 42. So you've got 6 plus 5 plus 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1 is 21 times 2 is 42. But well done, mate. 10 points.
It's a good stab at 4. Well done, mate. Well done.
Good score, mate.
I think that's a massively valid effort at a fairly tough quiz on his own. So I think that's a good round of applause there, lads. I think that was well done, mate.
Well done, Alex.
So that's not bad though. 10. So where does that put?
Let me go to the board again.
Got to be fair, doesn't he? Is it on joint
4th? So joint 4th with Jace Campbell. There you go. That's not bad. Well
very respectable, mate. Very respectable.
I'll take that.
Can I just pull up? Can I be an adjudicator here, lads? The closest planet to the sun is actually Mercury, not Venus. Venus is the second closest to the sun.
Well, I've got to say, Rich, I don't want to pull you up, mate. But the question was, what is the closest planet to the Earth?
I thought you said the sun.
No, the Earth. So,
that's right.
This is what happens. This is.
I love it though, Rich. I love it. I love you defending him. I love it.
This is what happens when you only come to half the planning meeting. Anyway,
and only stay for half them. Half of them.
All right.
Lads, I think we're going to move on. And Alex, I'm going to we'll get you to stay if you're free to stay. But I'm going to put you on mute because there's a bit of feedback, and I think it could be coming from your mic. So unmute if you want to say anything, and I'll just try it. See, does it help? Yes, yeah. I think it does. So anytime you want to speak, Alex, just hit unmute, and you can speak to us again. Cool. So Richy, are you ready?
I am.
Time for
Loaded 11.
Lovely, Richy. And I know you want to know the results of last week's poll. Centre back 1. Here it is. Over to you, Richy.
On there. Jesus.
Do you know what though? I will definitely take I will take a little bit of happiness out of that after all of Daz's nice slide and everything else. Sergio Ramos finished above him. So do you know what? Thank you, those who voted in the poll, just to show Daz that being an arse with a slide does not count.
It wasn't a slide; it was a picture.
It was a slide.
Congratulations to Franz Beckerer. Well done.
Well done, Richy.
Well done, Richy. Well done, lad.
There he is. He slots into our team. And there you'll see in our team there that we've got one centre back now, but there's one centre back 2 position missing. So as we put out the poll on Twitter, we had a number of entries, as I mentioned earlier. So we narrowed it down to 4, and here were the entries. Let me put the entries up. and the names of the people that made the selections. Here they are. So Funsey, he went with Jonathan Woodgate. David Shepherd, who is actually with us. He's on the. We'll bring him on now in a second. He's gone with Daniel Pasarella. Jordy Rohr has gone for Franco Baresi, and Ben, who's also with us, has gone with Fabio Canavaro.
Very good.
So I think we'll go to you, Chris. We always go to you first to talk us through. That's the way the order we put it in. I don't do this on purpose. I'm sorry, Richie. I've kind of taken over describing this, but because I have the pictures, it probably makes more sense actually. Now that I think of it. Okay,
are we going to bring the guys on as we talk through this bit? They've been sat in that green room maybe long enough.
Yeah. We're going to bring them on one by one. Oh, we'll bring them on both at the same time.
Let's bring them on. Bring them on.
You ready, David? And you ready, Ben? I think Ben has a problem with his camera. But can you hear us, Ben? No, he's frozen. But Dave, can you hear us?
Yes, fellas. Thanks for letting us on. Hi.
Lovely.
Dave, welcome, mate. Welcome to the show.
Great to have you on, David. Great to have you on, Ben, as well. Hopefully, it gets fixed. So we'll go with the first selection. We'll go with you, Chris. Are you ready?
I think I'm ready. So have I got someone on here supporting me over this selection?
No. You have. Yeah, it was the selection came from Funsey.
Funsey, right? Okay. Funsey, I'm doing this for you, mate. And do you know what? You must be a Newcastle fan. I'm assuming you are, because I love Jonathan Woodgate probably as much as you love Jonathan Woodgate. But when I read out this description, mate, it's gonna hurt. But let's just go with it, okay? And I love Jonathan Woodgate, by the way, so I don't think you've made a bad pick. In terms of centre-backs, right, boys, Jonathan Woodgate is probably one of the most underrated Premier League centre-backs that there has been. And you know what? He's been hampered by injuries. So already I feel sorry for Jonathan Woodgate, okay? But I'm going to read you some stats. So Jonathan Woodgate had a playing career with Leeds, Newcastle, Real Madrid, guys, Middlesbrough, Spurs, and then it went a bit downhill, Stoke. He made 383 club career appearances with 11 goals. Somehow, he only made 8 international appearances. And believe it or not, his only trophy was the Football League Cup with Spurs. So I think do you know what, mate? I'm going to have a real difficulty getting Jonathan Woodgate in here. Let's hope all the Newcastle fans are watching, because we really need to get voting for Jonathan Woodgate, because he was fantastic. He made...
Fantastically poor.
Yeah, I couldn't believe this stat, and I was talking to the lads about this before. He only made 14 appearances for Real Madrid, and I've highlighted that because I cannot believe he only made 14 appearances for Real Madrid. But what a player! I've wrote here. I've described him as a Rolls Royce of a defender. Having watched him at Newcastle, for me, he was one of the best centre backs that Newcastle ever had at the club. So, as you know, big fan of him. Underrated, and unfortunately, injuries hampered a very impressive career. Well, what could have been a very impressive career, should I say? And here's a little stuff for you boys. There's a bit of interest, a bit of extra homework I did. Jonathan Woodgate is married to Stuart Downing's sister. That would have been interesting at training, wouldn't it, when he was at Middlesbrough, and he was married to Stuart Downing's sister. So there's something I bet you didn't know.
I think there is a Middlesbrough joke in there somewhere, but I don't think we should lower ourselves to that tone.
Not at all. No, we're a family show. No. Woodgate briefly spent time as a scout for Liverpool, believe it or not, and he has managed both Borough and is currently managing Bournemouth, who he's just led to a 2-1 win, by the way. And I just wanted to add, just at the end, that Man United have ended up finishing 0-0 with Crystal Palace tonight. So that's another point for Palace. Yeah, and that's that, boys. Jonathan Woodgate, woo.
Okay, I'll see your Jonathan Woodgate, Chris. Or sorry, myself and David will see your Jonathan Woodgate, and we were going to talk about David's pick. I'll go my homework I did on him, and we'll get David to speak then. So Daniel Pasarella. Okay, so I didn't know about this guy till during the week. So I did a bit of Dennis Wisery on the whole YouTube. So an Argentinian defender, centre back. He's also a former Argentina and Uruguay manager. He's captain of Argentina when they won the World Cup in 1978. Former president of River Plate for 4 years. He was known for scoring goals as well. And at one point, he was the top goal scoring defender. I think Koeman actually overtook him there. Clubs were Sacramento. Listen to the goals here he scored from centre back. Sacramento, 36 games, 9 goals. River Plate, 226 games, 90 goals. Take that, Joe Linton, for a centre back.
90?
90.
That's mental.
Fiorentina, unless I wrote this down wrong. Fiorentina, 109 games, 26 goals. Inter Milan, 44 games, 9 goals. River Plate, again, back at River Plate, 32 games, 9 goals. For Argentina, he got 70 caps, 22 goals. He was manager of River Plate.
They have not having this. This is
It is ridiculous. No wonder you picked him, David. But River Plate he was manager of for 5 years, Argentina for 4 years, Uruguay for 2 years, Monterrey for 2 years, Corinthians for 1 year, River Plate again for 2 years. Known for his aerial ability in both boxes, and even though he wasn't the tallest either, this is probably where he's getting his goals from free kicks and penalties as well. He won the World Cup on 2 occasions, in 1978 and 1986. He won about 6 titles with River Plate, loads of individual awards and various ones as manager as well. So that's Daniel Pasarella. And now I'm going to hand you over to David, who's going to tell us why he picked him and why not with those stats.
I know.
It was a trip down memory lane for me, really, because my first memory of the World Cups was Argentina 78, as you said. You always remember like the ticket tape coming down from the stand, and you had Luque and Kempes up front. And then they had captain Daniel Pasarella. And as you said, Daz, he was only about 5'7", but he was very strong, hard, very quick. Just an unbelievable central defender. And as you're right, you said he could score goals. 140 goals he scored in his club career, which is ridiculous. A couple of points was like 2007, the Times put him in their top 50 hardest ever players. In 2017, 442 magazine put him in the top 100 of the greatest players of all time. So really, it's just a great memory of my first World Cup when I was 9-year-old. Those 3 players I mentioned, always remembered, but centre-half was Daniel Pasarella, and I've followed him ever since.
Oh, definitely needs to get into the team.
Yeah,
good plug, choice. David, good plug.
Exactly. I'm glad you put him in, mate, because I've never even heard of him, but I'm going to have to research that. That was unbelievable.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
For Fiorentina as well, he was excellent, really good. Mind you, I'm probably the oldest here. I'm 51, so, but great memory.
Well, I'm 50, so I'm not far behind you, David.
You're wearing well.
I was going to make a joke there, but I won't.
Camera angle is everything.
No, cheers, David. And as Chris said, yeah, thanks for bringing him to our attention. I think he actually, when I was reading as well a bit about, actually, no, I'm going to stop talking about him. I'll move on. He didn't get on with Maradona at one stage, I was going to say. Anyway, Martin, I think we'll go to your selection next.
Yep.
Are you ready?
I'm ready. There's the lad. Look at him. I mean, was there a finer defender ever in history? I don't think so. And what certainly was better than the one I chose last week. So Franco Baresi, Italian and AC Milan defender, spent his entire 20-year career with AC Milan, a one-club man. 532 appearances with 16 goals for AC Milan, 81 appearances and only 1 ever goal for Italy. He was an AC Milan youth product, but was initially rejected by Inter Milan, who chose his brother Giuseppe instead of Franco. Did you know? There's a fact. Between 87 and 96, he was at the heart of the defense of AC Milan's successful players, where he was surrounded by players like Costacurta, Panucci, Hullet, Van Basten, Rijkaard, Albertini, Baggio, Brian Laudrup, George Weah, and the very, very famous Jean-Pierre Papin. Notably, Baresi was obviously remembered for the most formidable partnership that was ever out in a defensive line with Paolo Maldini. So I think he stands there in a very high line. With regards to honours, he won 6 Serie A, 2 Serie B, 4 Super Cups, 3 Champions Leagues and European Cups, 2 European Super Cups, 2 Intercontinental Cups, and of course, he was a World Cup winner in 1982. He was also second in the Ballon d'Or. And I think just on those facts alone and being the Superman that he is, he should certainly be in the team as our defender. And a small little fact, because I know Chris has started, I've noticed Chris has started this little thing about now trying to wing his player in by adding a little fact. I've popped onto that over the last 2-3 weeks. A little bit of sneakiness going on from the Scouse man. So here's a little fun fact about Franco Baresi. In 1994, Nicaragua put him on their $3 stamp for international postage, and he was the head of their stamp for $3 for a year. There you go.
Oh,
little known fact.
Wow. I've got a question for you, though. I've got a question, though, for you, Mart.
Yeah.
Could he do it on a cold winter's night, like Jonathan Woodgate on a cold winter's night at Stoke through the week?
Could.
I'm not sure
Absolutely.
he could. I don't know.
I think he could do it on a dry, sunny day in Derby because I think he was that good that Baresi could play anywhere. And I think he is probably that good a defender that if Alex and Will said to him, pick up a guitar and come and join the band, I think he'd be up for it. And I think he could do that as well. So look, that's Franco Baresi is my shout. And I think he's up there with the legends. And I think he deserves to be put into that team.
Yeah, and Alex, I hope you're thinking. I'm going to come to you at the end of this selection. I hope you're thinking of a centre back as well to suggest. So I think we'll move on from Franco Baresi. Yeah, he didn't score that many goals, Martin. Don't like him. Yeah, let's go to you, Richy. And actually, we have apologies from Ben. Yeah, his connection has let him down, so he couldn't get in. But he has put some a comment or two in, so I'll share them up after you give your description, Richy. Yep. So who you're going for, buddy?
We've gone for, on Ben's choice, of Fabio Canavaro. So Fabio had a 20-year playing career. He was 16 of it was in Serie A, where he also won 136 caps for Italy. He represented Napoli, Parma, Inter Milan, Juve on 2 occasions, and sandwiched in between the Juve one, he actually moved for a 3-year spell at Real Madrid. Now, his domestic honours, there isn't many. Okay, he's only ever won the UEFA Cup, the Coppa Italia twice, and the Super Coppa Italia. That is the only domestic honours, which I was very surprised about. Yeah.
Wow.
And he won the UEFA Cup with Parma.
Parma, I was going to say, yeah.
Yep, which was the team that was made up with Aspria, Zola, which was a fantastic team. However, what he did do in 2006, he probably had the year of all years. He led a pretty average Italian side to the World Cup, which I think, if you know, they always seem to flatter to deceive, and they always used to grind out results and stuff like that. But in 2006 as well, he also was the World Player of the Year, and he is the only defender in history to have ever been announced as the World Player of the Year. In the same year, he also won the Ballon d'Or, and he's only the third to have done that as well, behind Beckenbauer, which obviously was my choice last week and made the team, and also a surprise choice, actually. And the second one was Matthias Sammer, which I was surprised with. And because obviously there was no domestic honours really there for him, and Daniel Pasarella sort of took the thunder on my little, nonchalant little known fact for him. Would you believe that Fabio Cannavaro was only 5'9"?
Yeah, it's incredible.
Wow.
That is incredible.
Tremendous.
Sorry, Rich, I didn't mean to laugh all the way through that. The reason I was laughing, mate, is because all these little underhanded plugs are just going on. And when you said, so my last player, who was in last week, by the way, just so we're clear, he made the team. And then you were saying about the facts and all that, just made me laugh. And when do I get first pick, by the way? Can I just ask?
Wait, we did the spinning wheel thing. You remember the spinning wheel, and that's you got third. I got last pick. Hey, but I'm happy.
I did get first, but unfortunately, I was busy decorating. St. Martin nicked in and got Baresi.
And yeah, since we've all met,
snooze you lose.
Made up a fun fact. I'm going to just make up one that David is actually related to Daniel Pasarella. So yeah, that's my fun fact. Believe it or believe it not. And actually, I want to add Ben's comments in as well. Unfortunately, Ben couldn't try to get on, but it didn't work out. So these are some of Ben's comments. Fabi has to go down as no question. Ballon d'Or 2006. And did you see his performance versus Germany in the World Cup? World class. Cheers, Ben. We'll get you on next time.
Hope I did you proud, Ben.
Actually, there's something that popped up on the comments here as well. I think we should put it on screen since a lot of us here are Newcastle fans. I want to put this comment up. Where did it go? This one from Judy. There's an exclusive from Craig Hope about a bust up with Richy and Bruce.
Wow.
And Richy calling Bruce a coward.
Okay, so I
don't blame him. I don't blame him.
I'm on. Sorry, lads. I'm on Twitter here, so I've got the
exclusive.
I have got the well, it's on Twitter first, so I'll claim it from a YouTube perspective. So Craig Hope exclusive. Matt Richy called Steve Bruce a coward during training ground showdown as NUFC barges into player who tells Bruce, "You've done, excuse my language, fuck all for me." Richy and others are furious with Bruce's blame game for Wolves' goal. Absolute huge unrest with Newcastle players and Bruce. So yeah, it's not good. And then a couple of people commenting saying he is said to have telephoned Bruce after the game and wanted to have it out there and then. However, Bruce held. Bruce held him off and said he would not speak to him until he was at training on Tuesday. So
another day off then, yeah. Another day off on Monday.
Yeah, there's a couple of exclusives. So yeah, it's obviously not looking good, lads.
And yeah, thanks for that, Martin. And thanks, Judy, for putting the comment up as well.
Yep.
Another comment from Ben about Fabio Canavaro as well. And Alex, we'll go to you. Do you want to?
Who's Alex's centre back?
Yeah, who's your centre back?
Okay, I'm going to go for someone that I grew up watching and I thought was a great defender. I'm going to go with Carlos Puyol.
Great selection. I like that one.
He was. I used to watch Barcelona on Sky Sports, like when they were at the peak, all the time, like sort of 2010 era to 2014. Captain, that team was unbelievable. It was so fun to watch them play. It was like watching them play, like it's like a FIFA match or something.
Yeah.
And then he won, obviously, the World Cup with Spain. So I'm going to go with Carlos Puyol.
Did you vote last week, Alex? That's the question I have here.
I did, yeah.
Good man.
There you go. Pretty good.
That was my selection last
week. There are some quality choices. There's some quality choices we got coming through. Everybody getting involved. So
yeah,
I think it's good.
David, did you vote via Ferdinand?
I went for Puyol actually last week.
See?
He still didn't win though, Daz.
I know. There was only 93 votes. There was something wrong with the system. Puyol would have got it otherwise.
Like your spinning wheel.
Yeah, exactly. I think, lads, I'm going to talk about what's happening next week.
Yeah, let's have a look at what's next week.
So what's happening next week? I'll bring it up here. So next week, the 10th of March, we're going to have loaded headlines. We're going to have loaded leaderboard. We're going to have a loaded tune with the special guests, the underclass, next week. We're going to have a loaded quiz to try and topple the leaders in that leaderboard. We're going to have a new section called Loaded Mystery Guest. That'll keep people guessing for the week. We're going to have Loaded 11 again. And next week, we're going to go defensive central midfielders, and we'll get the guest involved as well in that. Follow us on Twitter at Loaded Football, on Instagram Loaded Football HQ, and so subscribe to us on Loaded Football on YouTube as well. Shout out to our sponsors as well, Mind, Body and Soul. And was there anything else I wanted to say? Yes, there's one other thing I wanted to also say, because next week we're going to move. We have been on Steve Wraith's channel for the last 7 shows, but we're going to go be brave, and we're going to go out on our own. We're going to move to our own channel. We will send out the details to everyone. We want to say a big thanks to Steve Wraith for first of all for his advice at the start, and then for letting us use his studio. And cheers, Steve. Thanks for that.
Thanks, Steve.
Thank you.
We're not leaving UFC Matters. We'll still see us for match days and whatever Steve needs us for. But yeah, we're going to try and go on our own as well. But cheers, Steve. Anything else you want to say, lads? I just want to check the comments. There's a pretty few more comments in before we leave. There's a few Bruce out. Richy is a legend. Bruce, there's a few more.
I think we may have a loaded headline for next week then at this stage.
I think we do. Another shout out to Ben. And yeah, that's it, guys. We're going to play. Does everyone want to say goodbye? That's first.
Goodbye from me.
Yeah, it's goodbye for me. As Daz said, a quick one for me. Obviously, another shout out to our sponsors, Mind, Body and Soul. Get onto Twitter at Mind, Body, Soul UK. Have a look. Get online. Get on the site and get yourself a snazzy T-shirt or a hoodie or a couple of bits online. Money goes to the charities. It's a really good cause. So get on there, help support it, and do that. As Daz said, look, thanks to Steve, but we are going to give it a go. Keep watching. Loaded Football will be the mainstay onto our own channel, but we do have a load more show ideas coming up. So keep watching us, keep following. There is a lot more to come from the boys on this panel, and hopefully we look forward to pulling people along, growing the channel. People like David, Ben, people who are watching us now, we hope you follow us and come with us on a journey with us four guys. And we're going to keep the music and the tunes going. We've got some cracking bands lined up. We've had Alex tonight. So from me, Alex, I know we've been chatting over a good period of time. Thank you very much, sir. We will keep following you. We will keep promoting the tunes. And as I said, with most of the bands that come on with us, lads, if there's somebody out there that's looking to sign unsigned bands, get in touch with Alex and Will. Get a hold of the Pacemakers band. You heard the tune. Get on YouTube. Check the tunes out. They're really good. Somebody needs to give these guys a deal. So get out there and have a look for them.
Yeah,
cheers. And that's it for me. It's a good night for me.
Yeah, good night from me, lads. I just want to say, yeah, thanks to Alex for coming on. David, lovely to have you on. Hopefully we'll have Ben on next time. Yeah, just a massive thank you to everyone who's been watching the show, and also a special thank you to Steve, for supporting us. And yeah, just as the lads have already said, we're not going anywhere, Steve. We're just moving off for Loaded Football, but yeah, stick on with the NUFC matters. But thank you everybody for watching, and I'm really looking forward to hearing about this Matt Richy story now. Can't wait.
Thanks for the opportunity, fellas. I appreciate that.
Cheers, Dave. Thanks for coming on. Thanks to Ben as well.
And Ben
on as well. Richy, did you say anything? Did you get to say goodbye? I missed that.
Yes,
he's very short and sweet, mate.
Right, and as a special tribute to Steve Wraith, and because a number of people have asked us about the song for our intro, we're going to play out with the Longsands Bully. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for watching.
Good night, folks. See you next week. Thanks, Alex. Bye, everyone.
Yeah, thank you.
Cheers.
You're the joker, the expert, the voice, but you're one of the crowd. A vision of weakness, you're dull, but your voice is so loud. I'm the butt of your jokes, cause that's all more girls you hang round. You kill to make your imprint on my soul. The poet, the heart and the lungs of this land. Charismatic and fun, I can laugh off the bounties you hand. Cause in 15 years time when you're lost, I'll be still in demand. You'll be working the bins on a wage of about $7 grand. You'll never make your imprint on my soul. No, not likely. I'm not like you. You never break my soul. vagabonding the new dirty den. Through the fear of violence and status, you hustle your